Tomato leather. Sounds a little strange, doesn't it? But we're about to explore an innovation that could radically change what you wear, where it comes from, and what happens to it when you're done with it.
I mean, seriously, can you turn a salad into a handbag? It sounds a bit absurd. But this very question, as strange as it sounds, is at the absolute heart of a major shift happening in material science right now.
And it all starts with this number, 44 million tons. That's how many tomatoes India produces every single year, making it the second largest producer on the planet. But as you're about to see, a huge chunk of that never even makes it to our plates. And that isn't a problem. It's an opportunity, a massive one.
Okay, so to understand why something like tomato leather even needs to exist, we first have to talk about what it's trying to replace. Let's get into the real dilemma behind both traditional leather and these so-called vegan options.
Right now, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, you've got animal leather. It's tied to really resource-heavy cattle farming and a tanning process that uses a whole cocktail of nasty chemicals. On the other side, you've got most synthetic vegan leathers. Sure, they're cruelty-free, but they're basically just plastic, made from petroleum, shedding microplastics, and they'll sit in a landfill for 500 years. So neither one is a perfect solution.
And this is where our story takes a turn. This is where our unlikely hero makes its entrance. See, instead of creating more problems, some innovators started looking for solutions in places most of us would just overlook, like a massive pile of agricultural waste.
So remember that 44 million ton number? Well, get this. A staggering 35% of all those tomatoes go to waste. We're talking millions of tons of skins, seeds, and stems just left to rot in landfills where they release methane gas.
But here's where the science gets really cool. That waste is packed with something called pectin. You might actually know it as the stuff that makes jams set and get thick. Well, in this case, that natural polymer is the key ingredient that gives a new material the flexibility and strength it needs to behave just like leather. And an idea this brilliant didn't just appear out of thin air. It came from the first-hand experience of one bio-entrepreneur, a guy named Pritesh Mistry, the founder of the Bio Company. So Mistry's story really began back in college. He visited some super polluting leather tanneries, and then he saw the absolutely staggering amount of food waste on farms. This quote just nails his motivation. He wanted to find one single solution that could tackle two huge interconnected problems at the same time. And this gives us a little peek into the science. You can see how the entire process is designed to take these agricultural leftovers and transform them into a really durable, high-performance material. So let's break that down. It's a really elegant four-step process. First, they intercept the tomato waste before it can go to a landfill. Then they stabilize all that organic stuff into a consistent biopulp. Third, they layer that pulp onto an organic cotton backing and use heat to press it all together for strength. And finally, they treat it with natural waxes and oils for a durable, water-resistant finish. Okay, the process is pretty clever, but how does the final product actually stack up against the competition? Especially when we're talking about the environment. Well, this comparison is just incredibly telling. Just look at the origins: upcycled tomato waste versus crude oil. Chemical safety: BioLeather has zero of those harmful plastics. It's also naturally breathable, unlike synthetics that just chop heat. And maybe the most important part: what happens at its end of life? One is fully biodegradable, the other gets a 500-year sentence in a landfill. The numbers on the carbon footprint are just as dramatic. A single square meter of animal leather creates a massive 110 kilograms of CO2 equivalents. Synthetic leather is much better, sure, at around 15.8, but plant-based leather like this one, it comes in at just 8.8 kilograms. That's a huge reduction. And here is the knockout punch. It gets that tiny carbon footprint while being completely free of the plastics, PU and PVC, that you find in almost every other faux leather on the market. This is really what sets it apart. Now, this isn't just some cool concept stuck in a lab. BioLeather is already making its way into real products that you can actually go out and buy. And the brands using it are thrilled. Natasha Mangwani, the CEO of the handbag brand Satu Hati, calls it an extraordinary innovation, and she says its unique origin story is what really makes it stand out. Her brand saw an incredible response when they launched products made with it. And the applications are super diverse. We're seeing it in fashion for jackets and shoes, in accessories like those structured handbags, and even in the auto industry for interiors. And since they're already producing 5,000 meters a month, the bio company is ready to scale up and meet the demand.
This right here, this brings the entire vision full circle. They can use the same process to turn tomato waste into packaging for the next tomato harvest. After you use it, that packaging can be composted, returning nutrients to the soil. It's a perfect closed-loop system.
But as incredible as all this is, the story doesn't end with tomatoes. This innovation is actually a platform for a whole new category of materials.
The bio company is already working on its next material, mango leather. It harnesses the super strong cellulose found in discarded mango pits to create an incredibly tough textile. And looking even further into the future, they're developing microbial leather. This stuff is literally grown in vertical bioreactors, producing pure materials with almost zero land impact. This is the future of textiles. Which really brings us to the final thought. This whole story is about seeing value where other people only see waste. It's about reimagining our systems to be circular, not just linear. So if we can turn discarded tomatoes into a luxury jacket, what other parts of our world are just waiting to be completely transformed?